we were purchasing properties, fixing them up, and selling them. And it just was such a great feeling to purchase a property, fix it up, and then sell it. And the amount of money that we made from it was like, wow, I think this is it. So.
Hi, this is Nicole Glass, and welcome to Creating Your Own Reality podcast. Hi, this is Nicole Glass, and welcome to Creating Your Own Reality podcast. I am really excited about today's episode. I have a very special guest, Sharita Rivera, a broker owner, you guys, and a commercial landlord. Sharita is home, she's home to Sicklerville, New Jersey. So this is someone who lives in my direct town, someone I've seen on billboards, a Black woman that inspires me every single day when I'm driving down Sicklerville Road, and someone that has been in my life for a couple of years now that I'm just starting to understand. I am so excited about this episode, you guys. Sharita and I have shared a conversation before recording, and she has so many special stories to share today. And I am just over the moon that she said yes to this interview. So, introducing Sharita Rivera. Thank you so much for coming and talking with me here today. Thank you. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my experiences and my opportunities that I've been afforded in life to get to where I'm at right now.
I'm excited. We are sitting in Sharita's commercial space. There's not only just one office, but there's multiple. So, this is a woman who is extremely established here in Winslow Township, and this is a woman that I've been able to see grow and rent these properties out. So, Sharita, where did this all start? I want to hear about your parents' story and how they were able to raise someone so impactful.
I guess if I go back to, the story of my parents, my dad's family were sharecroppers. I don't know if a lot of people know what sharecroppers are, but, it's very common in Black families that, their ancestors were sharecroppers, right out of slavery and when they were sharecroppers, they harvest the fields and were able to pay for their living expenses from harvesting the fields. And they traveled from state to state doing that, primarily in the South, but they would travel to the North. And my mom was from Delaware, and that's where my parents met. When my dad's family traveled to Delaware to harvest the bean fields there, my mom was actually doing the same. Her family wasn't sharecroppers, but they picked in the bean fields to earn extra money, and that's where they met.
Wow, that's amazing, Sharita. What you're telling me is that a daughter of a sharecropper owns multiple properties, is a broker owner in the state of New Jersey. I don't want to give it away, but you also are an RN, and you also are the most humble person that I've ever met. And I am just so inspired by your story and how you got started. I just want to know what in your upbringing was the catapult to get you where you are today?
Well, my parents had 9 children. I'm the 7th child of those 9 children, and my family, because my father and mother divorced when I was very young, I was 7 years old, we were left to kind of fend for ourselves. My mother was a single mom trying to figure out how she would be able to make ends meet for her family. And at the time, she kind of went back to what she knew as a child, and how her family made it. And so she had us pick in the blueberry fields in Hamilton, New Jersey. When you're picking in the blueberry field, you have to be there at a certain time. Otherwise, if they have enough people to pick the field, they turn you away. So we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning and just all pack into the car. I can remember us packing lunch, helping my mom pack sandwiches for us and put them in baggies, and pack drinks and that kind of stuff and put it in a cooler. And we would go to the blueberry fields, and we would pick from. They started around 6 o'clock in the morning, and we would be there until 5 in the afternoon. At the time, I hated it. It was not anything that, I wanted to do. But, as other children my age were getting up on the weekdays in the summer and going to camp or playing with their friends, I was, along with my siblings, helping my mom to earn money to feed us.
What do you think, through your experiences with your mom, led you down the path that you are today?
Because I always saw her push forward and never say, I can't do it, it's not going to happen. I always saw her push forward, and that stayed with me. There was something about that stayed with me and gave me a character of never say you can't, always try. And as long as you continue to push forward and move forward, you'll reach your goal. You can never know if you can do it. Just like in a race, if you're running a race, as long as you continue to run, you'll get to the finish line. So that's kind of what I saw in her, is that she never gave up, and she always tried to do the best that she could do.
That's something that I can resonate with as well, with my own mother, constantly seeing her have to face, struggle after struggle by herself in the adult world, and especially starting in the adult world so young. And I really resonate with that, especially with Mother's Day being so recent and passing. Black mothers are some of the strongest people that I have ever encountered in my life. And to see you as a Black mother talk about your Black mother is extremely inspiring. So I just want to thank you. And I want to share with our listeners, I want to share with them where we are today and how you came about this space, because I see where you've been, but look where you are. We're sitting in your commercial property that has multiple offices, and your licenses, you don't just have one, but you're also an RN. How?
Well, I think I have to kind of back up a little bit to my teenage years. Because I always didn't make wise decisions. I was a young mother. I had my first child at 17, and I also got married as a teenager. So it wasn't a very good relationship. It was a very abusive relationship, actually. But out of that marriage, I had my 3 children, and I had 3 children by the age of 24. But I was still pushing forward, and still taking that strength that I had inside and what I saw come from my mom, that I had to do what I had to do to survive and to provide for my children. That relationship ended in tragedy, and I was a young widow at 27 years old. And so, I came back home to my mother's, and a very good friend of mine introduced me to the man that I'm married to now, and I've been married to my husband now for 30 years. He was my inspiration to push forward, to bigger dreams than I ever thought that I could achieve. And, sometimes it's just having those right people placed in your life at the right time to catapult you to who you're supposed to be. And that's exactly what happened in my life at that time. I was 28 years old. I was a widow. I was raising 3 children by myself. I was working 3 jobs. I was working full-time at a hospital as a nurse's aide, and I was working for Delta Airlines part-time as a reservation sales agent, and then I was working at a video store on the weekend. And I was doing all of that, working 3 jobs, barely seeing my kids, when God brought this amazing man into my life. And it changed my world. I went from working 3 jobs to not working at all and going to school full time to become a nurse. So you can see how my story started to unfold when the right people were placed in my life, and I allowed those people to enter my life. Because sometimes we don't always allow people to come into our space, whether it is because we don't trust or, there could be many reasons. But because I did allow God to place the people that he placed in my life, I was able to realize my purpose.
It's the people around you, that lead positive impacts in your life. And I don't think you realize that you've been such a positive impact in other people's lives as they've seen you grow too, in your brother's life and your mother's life, and just to see where it all is today. And I'm just, I am so happy that God's been watching over you. And I'm so happy that we are here and we're able to have this discussion. So you and your husband, how did you guys get started with transferring from the RN to the real estate business?
Well, I when I was working as an RN, I was very fortunate because I was trained at Our Lady of Lourdes School of Nursing, and they start you out from day one of working with patients. So from my freshman year until I graduated, I was actually working as a nurse, not getting paid for it, but that was my training. And I worked many disciplines. I worked interventional radiology, cardiac cath, post-bypass surgery, telemetry, recovery room. So with being afforded those opportunities that not many other Black women were doing at the time, I didn't see many other people that looked like me doing those things. I got to a point where I was very comfortable working in the recovery room. But at that time, my husband was working for United Parcel Service, and he took an early retirement, and had some severance and stock that he received when he left, and he actually started researching franchises, and so he found a couple of franchises that he liked their processes, that how their method of running a business seemed to work. And he just, I came home one day from working in the recovery room, and he said, I found the businesses I think, we're going to purchase. And he said, but I'm going to need you to quit your job because I need you. I can't do this alone. And I was like, you want me to leave my dream job? And he was like, I need you. I can't do it alone. So, I resigned my position with the hospital, and we actually purchased 2 franchises. We purchased a Cotman Transmission, and we purchased a Subway restaurant. that we had to build from the ground up. So it was a vanilla box, and we built the subway, and then we rented an auto building, commercial building, and we put together the Cotman transmission. We went to both of the companies, and they have something where you go and for a week and you learn their processes. They basically train you how to run your own business. So we did that, and I ran the Cotman transmission, and my husband ran the Subway restaurant. So it was successful. They were both successful. We were making money doing that, but we didn't have passion for that. I didn't like the auto transmission job. And so a year from the date that we actually opened, we sold the business, and we sold it at a profit. And then my husband was still working at the Subway, and we decided that we were going to sell that too. We like real estate, and we both had a passion for real estate, and that's when we decided that we were going to start buying properties.
And so I like what you said about passion. What makes you passionate about real estate? Like, what was the turning point?
The turning point, I believe, was we needed to find something that we were passionate about. And both of us, had often thought about purchasing properties and renting them. And so that we did that. We bought a rental property, and we started from there. We had a friend of ours that was a realtor, and she helped us buy several rental properties. And she had made a comment. She said, you guys have bought so many rental properties. Why don't you think about getting your own license? You could save the commission on that side. She said, not that I don't like making the money, but to me it seems like it would be better if you, because of the amount of properties you're buying, that you get into it and get your own license. And so we both did. We both got our license. We went to school together, and we got our license. And then I went to work for a female broker when I got my license. My husband put his in referral. He didn't actively sell. But we had started to purchase properties to flip. And we were purchasing properties, fixing them up, and selling them. And it just was such a great feeling to purchase a property, fix it up, and then sell it. And the amount of money that we made from it was like, wow, I think this is it. And so it became very passionate to both of us. It's something that we knew we were in the right direction. Both of us decided that we wanted to open our own real estate office. And that's when we saw this building that we're in now, which was a house at the time. And we purchased it and started going through the process with the township and the planning board of getting this commercially zoned so that we could open our office. We went through several struggles trying to do that. But again, God put the right people in place to help us move forward. And, one of the officials, the director, Herb Leary, was one of the people that was very instrumental with moving our project forward to what it is right now, to what you see right now.
Wow, that's really exciting that, you and your husband got on this journey together. And I want to hear a little bit about maybe one or two of the struggles that you went through, because I want people to know that, this isn't just open up an office and start making money.
No, well, we had to hire an architect. And actually, the architect that we hired to design our building and do our site plan, He's actually one of our tenants right now in the building. He is such an amazing person, and Cappy Sabir is his name, and he was a blessing to us, and he was also put in our life right at the right time. But we went through many struggles. He's an architectural engineer, and he put our designs together for our site plan and for the building. And it seemed like every time we went in front of the planning board, even though we had an attorney with us, and anybody who goes in front of the planning board, when you have an attorney, you're supposed to be put first. We were always last. Sometimes we didn't get heard until 11 o'clock at night, and the planning board meeting would start at 6 o'clock. So, I felt like it was almost purposeful that we were being pushed back to discourage us from doing what it is we were trying to do. Also, just getting opened, because at the time we were trying to open our building, there was a sewer moratorium in Winslow Township. So they were trying to block us from opening, trying to base it on the fact that we didn't have enough credits to open up because we wouldn't have enough bathrooms in the building. So it was almost like there were just obstacles that we were running into, and they seemed like they were insurmountable, but we overcame every single one. Every single obstacle they threw in our way, we were able to overcome. We bought the credits that we needed to have to be able to put the number of bathrooms we needed to have in the building. And, we moved our project forward. And, it is what it is that you see today. We have 5 suites in the building, and we rent out 4 of them. And, that to me was a part of our plan, was to be able to run our business that we have basically rent free, because we rent out the other spaces.
And I'm just going to stop it there, because y'all know what she's talking about with house hacking if you watch my previous videos, using your other rentals to pay for your space. And she's doing it on a commercial level, and I've been talking to you guys about it on a residential level. But Sharita, I could talk to you all day. Your story is amazing. It's inspiring, and it's something that I think a lot of people are going to relate to. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing this with us. There was a lot of build up to this, but this is definitely worth it, and this is going to impact people's lives. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Creating Your Own Reality podcast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and comment what you think below. I am over the moon about how this episode went. Sharita is obviously amazing, and I hope I can get her back here on the show. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.